Welcome back, everybody, to the Huddle Up Podcast, presented by the Jeremy Hodge Auto Group, Gridiron Spice, Live Audio, and Keystone Property Management. We took a week off last week. Need to repower the jets here a little bit, but we got a special episode for you guys. But first, my co-host, DG, what's going on, man? How are you?
What's going on, brother? I'm good, man. I'm fired up for this episode. Feels good to be back, week off, but we're back and rolling. It's time to let it rip, man.
Yeah. Well, hey, we got a special guest. Let's go ahead and introduce him.
Yeah, man. I'm fired up about this one. So you can see him on the screen if you're watching. My man, former Arkansas offensive lineman. Okay, current manager in high school, current manager of high school and alumni relations at the University of Arkansas, the general manager of Varsity Vibe Arkansas, right, and former head coach at Pea Ridge High School, former GA with myself at the University of Memphis,
yes,
where it all started back in the day, and probably most important, right, the creator and founder of the BDOML brand. So give it up, man. We got Brey Cook.
And the
What's going on,
pod.
brother? Yeah. Oh, and excuse me. I forgot about the coaches pod, man. My fault. But Mr. Brey Cook, what's going on, man? We're glad to have you, brother.
God bless. Thanks for having me. Man. Thank you. Yeah. It's an honor to be here with you gentlemen. I love it.
Man. Fired up, man. Fired
up. That was sick. It was the highlights. That was powerful.
So those were the highlights from all the winning teams in the college football playoff last year. And I know everybody's like, well, why are you putting a pick six on? Well, it happened and Alabama won. I know, guys, but I just had to go with the theme, and it was all the winning plays from the college football playoff. And so it's a cool little video. We'll do some other stuff, but I thought that was cool, and giving everybody their flowers from the college football playoff, and then of course the Indiana and Miami game was an all-time good one. So
the final Mendoza run on there is oof.
I love it. Oh man!
Between that with the Eminem song gets me in a vibe before we lock in here, man. It's dope. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you acknowledging my man Drew getting that thing going, man. That's big time, Brey. So Brey,
no doubt.
Talk to us, man. Okay, so we know you're an Arkansas legend. You're repping it on your chest. You're repping it on the hat, man. Former Arkansas offensive lineman. You had your stint in the league. And now you're here doing all the things that you're doing, like you mentioned the intro, but the intro is well deserved, not only because you're a great human being, but man, you're a boss in so many categories, a great human being and a great coach. So talk to us first. Initially, let's go back, man, after your time at Harbor High up there in Northwest Arkansas, and then you step on campus in Fayetteville. Tell us a little about it, man. What was it like being a player at University of Arkansas?
Well, man, I'll be honest. You're talking me up a little too much. I appreciate it. God bless. A little too much. So we got to tone it down. No, man. I was very fortunate. Played for Chris Wood there at Harbor High School. I had an incredible career. He's now at SMU.
Great dude.
Actually. Yeah. Oh, he's a stud. And then of course my offensive line coach there, Don Strubing, who played a huge part in my coaching career. I actually met with him today. I played for him, and I graduated 2011. He graduated 2026, and I actually had lunch with him just a couple hours ago. So incredible relationship. Yeah, at Springdale, and go to the University of Arkansas. I was fortunate enough to play football there for 4 years. I was talking to David earlier. You guys, I see the OU background behind you, and a couple other OU. We're OU people on this podcast. Which is
whoa, not weird.
We got an OU person here to my left. On my left.
Yeah. The Sooner State. It's the Sooner State for a reason. So
so I almost went to Oklahoma. So when I was coming out of high school and I was getting recruited, we went to a team camp my sophomore year in Tulsa, where Mike Norvell was coaching at the time. I got an offer from Tulsa as my first one. Big deal, huge deal. I go to an Oklahoma team camp as my next one. And they offered me. So Oklahoma was my first, big, Power 5 school offer. And so from there, I was just kind of entrenched with Coach Stoops at the time. And so I was leaning heavily towards Oklahoma. I loved everything about it. But I waited. And I waited until the Bedlam game. I said, I really want to see what this place is about. And so Oklahoma State comes into Norman, man. We're there, the big recruits. We're kicking ass. We're in the locker room. Toby Keith is down there. Kings of Leon are there. Yeah, I mean, it was sick. And I'll never forget, and this might offend both of you, so I apologize. The place was electric. It was nuts. It was crazy. And I was sitting there on the sideline before kickoff, and it just kind of hit me. I was like, this is cool. But to me, this is nothing compared to just like any game in Fayetteville. Like, I just didn't feel it. And I was like, man, like I love everything about this, but it's not home, you know? And so that was for me, that was the point that I knew that I was going to be a Razorback. And so yeah, went on to Fayetteville to play football there, and was fortunate enough to be a captain, voted captain my senior year. And I went on to the league where I was telling David this story. I played for about 7 days before getting medically retired really quickly.
You had a cup of coffee in the league, is what they said.
I mean, I don't know if it was a cup, an espresso shot, maybe. It's that, you know. But I had that shot of coffee, and I was rehabbing from a surgery on my back very, very quickly after that when Coach Bielema offered me a graduate assistant role at Arkansas. And I said, you know, I got medically retired this quickly. It's time I'm not going to chase this dream. I want to jump into this coaching opportunity. And, you know, it worked out great. Got to work 2 years for him there. And then when he was let go, that's actually my offensive line coach, Don Strubing, who kind of came to the rescue, because, you know, as a head coach, you get fired. I mean, you're getting paid to leave. And so these coaches, you know, they're fine. They're on vacation. Now you're a GA, you get fired, man.
That's a different world. That's a different world there.
It's tough living.
Panic.
Yeah.
Panic.
So so my offensive line coach, he actually, Gus Malzahn had reached out to him at one point. This is years back, and reached out to my offensive line coach, Don Strubing, asking for a graduate assistant. And my offensive line coach, who played at Arkansas, Don Strubing, he went and finished his career at UCA. Well, while he was at UCA, he'd come back to practices after he graduated, and there was a young kid on the team there who was Mike Norvell. And Mike Norvell would always walk up to Coach Strubing and introduce himself and shake his hand after each practice, and just saw the guy on the sideline and went and just got to know him. Well, Coach Strubing then says, hey, Malzahn, check out Mike Norvell. And so he hires Mike. Mike goes on to have, you know, this incredible career. He's at Memphis at the time. And so Coach Strubing calls Norvell and said, hey, I got a GA for you. And so it's kind of a full circle moment where I was able to go work for Coach Norvell, who at the time, Coach Silverfield was his graduate assistant. So Coach Silverfield interviews me over the phone, says, yeah, come on, you can start tomorrow. And so I quit my job at JB Hunt. I've been working there for 3 or 4 weeks, and incredible. Love JB Hunt and everything they did for me there. Very fortunate to be able to work those 4 weeks at JB Hunt. And then I said, hey, this is an amazing opportunity. I got to do it. And they said, yeah, you need to do it. Go. And so I actually quit at like 3 o'clock. 6 o'clock that night, I got in my car, drove to Memphis, and was sitting in the parking lot for the next staff meeting. And so I was at Memphis for a year.
Hey, Brey, yeah. Can I hold you up real quick to make things clear?
Yeah.
You became the GA for Ryan Silverfield, right? Ryan Silverfield was not the GA for Mike Norvell.
No, he was the offensive line coach.
Okay, I'm not trying to grade. You said Silverfield was the GA for Mike Norvell at the time. He was the O-line coach. You became the GA, right?
Yeah. So Ryan was the offensive line coach there.
Okay, I'm making sure it's clear.
Yeah.
There we go.
So I went to work for Ryan. Slept on his couch for a month and a half until I moved in with Coach Glidden here.
Come on.
And then from there, I moved on to a defense or a Division II after a year at Memphis. Went to a D2 to be an offensive line coach, strength coordinator, and when COVID hit, I decided, man, there's an opportunity at Pea Ridge High School down in Arkansas, and I jumped on it. Where I got to work with Jeff Williams, and eventually I took over as head coach. Yeah. And spent 5 years doing that.
Love it, man.
That's the long. Here we are today. You know.
Well, isn't it crazy how we were talking before we went on live, but we all are connected in a different circle, and this coaching carousel and everything like that is crazy because you guys got to meet each other, but then we found out that you worked for Brandon Craig, who I worked for at Siloam Springs, and stuff like that. So it's just a cool thing that coaches get to do, and I don't think there's any other profession like this to where, you connect the dots with things and you network and you never know where you're going to end up or who you're going to meet and everything like that. And, I just think it's cool how unique this job really is when it comes to that.
That's a great point. That's a great point. Small world.
It's unbelievable, the connections, and really just in Arkansas, like the coaching tree at really all levels. Man, there's a lot of roots in Arkansas. It's pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
That's very true.
Here's a quick one. When you transition from being a player to a coach, I ask a lot of this, with those things. What was your biggest thing that you had to, kind of learn or transition into from, being a player and then transitioning into that coaching life? What was that like?
I think in my situation, the most unique part, because, I was a senior, and me and Dan Skipper, our buddy, me and Frank right now, we're the offensive line together. We're the boy. I mean, we're a tight knit group. Yeah. And then, I go off for a year and I come back and now I'm supposed to be this coach. I mean, it's a GA, but I mean, in the SEC, I mean, you're a coach. I mean, you're on the field, you're doing everything, like a full timer. And that was a weird transition just because of the relationships. And it's definitely a weird flip to switch, but switch to flip. Well, no, it was good. That to me, that was the most difficult part.
That reality is harsh.
Yeah.
That reality can be harsh, right?
But like the grind and all that stuff, like that's part of it. Like it's something you expect. That was easy to transition to. It's just the relationships. I think if I had gone to a different place to start coaching, it'd been completely different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Like starting in that role was just unique.
For sure. Okay, so tell me this, because I'm curious about this. Because when you finished your roundup, if you will, right, on where we are to where we are now, from I asked you about your career at Arkansas, and you finished that roundup, and you topped it off with being the head coach at Pea Ridge High School. So you mentioned going from the GA role at Arkansas, GA role at Memphis. You go be an O-line coach at Southwest Baptist, correct? Yep. I just want to make sure. Yeah, Southwest Baptist. COVID hits. Right. And then you become a head coach. And some people might think, well, you're the head coach at a high school, no matter what level it is, it's still high school, whatever it is. But you are the head coach. So every single person in that town looks at you a certain way.
Oh, yeah.
What was that like, transitioning from those roles in those years to becoming the head ball coach of that town, which people probably don't know? And if they don't know about Pea Ridge, what I've learned over time, it's gone from pretty small. And it's grown, and it is still growing rapidly in Northwest Arkansas, right? It is, like you just said, it's exploding. So what was that like, man? You become the ball coach in that town.
The biggest thing, I mean, really, there's a couple of things. One, I immediately, I immediately looked back at my roles as an assistant coach, and then back to at Arkansas as a graduate assistant. And I immediately just thought through everything I had done in those roles and realized, from the head coach's perspective, how much better of a job I could have done. You know what I mean? Like I wish I would have had this just perspective as a, and it's just growing up. It's part of it, part of the career. But I look back and like, man, it's maturity. It's just, we're just growing up.
That's life. That's just life. That's just life. That's all it is.
It really was. I was like, gosh, man, that was a shitty GA. It's like I could have drawn that card a little better. I could have had it on his desk an hour earlier. You know what I mean? And so that's one of the things I really appreciate now in my role at Arkansas. Is like I can anticipate things that are needed and how they need to be delivered. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
That was the biggest thing for me. And then two, you also realize, and a coach had told me this, an offensive coordinator at Arkansas at one time while I was there, he said, you never know the things that roll across the head coach's desk. And so you can sit there and you can judge, and you can make comments, and you can have your view on things, but until you're in that seat and you can't describe it and the words aren't going to do it justice, you really have no idea, because like you said, everyone in that town now is going to come to you with their world's on fire and they need your help putting it out. And all of a sudden, there's so many different, and you move this way, and then this, the consequences of you making this decision, good or bad, there's so many, because you are affecting so many different people's lives. And that was one thing that, everyone kind of knows, but the reality of it is really different. And then thirdly, you also understand that there are things that you just cannot control. And in this profession, that's not how we look at it. I mean, it's the head coach. That's the head coach. You're the guy. But in reality, there are things.
You're not just coaching football. You got to deal with other stuff too.
Yeah. And there are some things you just can't deal with, and your hands are tied. But you just got to sit there and take those punches, and that's just part of the ball game. And
bro, the look
by the
on
way,
your
on top
face
of
as
that,
you're
you got to
saying
figure
that.
out how to win games too, right?
Yeah,
So,
winning football games becomes like the least priority on almost.
Yeah, that's crazy. The look
That's
on your
one of
face
the
while you say
reasons
that, bro,
why-
is so priceless. It is priceless.
Yeah. Well, it's
Love
one of the things that I've worked for some really good head coaches and have had no desire to really become a head coach because I've learned, from just a glimpse of looking into their office or looking into some of the things. And you're not always going to know everything, like you said, that comes across their desk. But I learned enough to know that I just wanted to coach football, and with being a head coach, you are the CEO of that program, and not only are you just figuring out how to coach, whether you're an offensive coordinator calling plays or whatever, but you have to deal with that other stuff that a lot of people don't see that's behind the scenes too.
And that's what, like, you're the CEO, but there's a board of directors and there are shareholders, and it comes down to the CEO, but you might not be anyway. That's a whole nother conversation. But we had an interview with Jeff Conaway on the Coaches Pod, and it was like our third episode, I think. And so it was early, and our podcast was terrible, but he was on there and he said something that still to this day, he said, "Don't chase coaches or jobs, chase administrators. Whenever you're picking your next job, find the administrator that's going to put you in position to be able to win ball games." And the reality is, then you have to have just the ability to do your job and be yourself. And some of that framework is not what it seems. Yeah. That's an important.
What a nugget.
Well, I think too often guys will, and we've seen them, and I'm not knocking anybody, but too often guys will see just take a head coaching job because of the title, and they don't necessarily dig into the other stuff that's going on. They just want to take it. And, like you just said, man, I've heard that from a few people, and Jeff's a good one, man. Jeff, coach was very successful at Shiloh, and then now he's down in Florida in Orlando. And obviously he's got Coach Gill with him, and those guys, man, they just, they're great. And that's a good one. I'll have to go back and watch that one.
Yeah, the quality of the podcast wasn't great, but that nugget's phenomenal. I'll send it to you.
Hey, as long as you can take the nugget and run with it, man, that's what counts.
Anything that Coach Conaway brings is, man, he's great. I've never had the fortune to work with him on staff, but I've been around and some of the 7-on-7s they used to host and of the stuff that they've done. I mean, he's quality people. He's good stuff.
We need to do like we'll re-release that podcast and get some more quality editing now that we know what the hell we're doing.
Oh, trust me, me and Dave are the same way. Like we're still filling this thing out because I was like, man, I need another co-host because it's hard to do it by yourself, but you got to have somebody else with you. And I think so. Yeah, we're still working the kinks out here. Probably people are watching this and they're like, what the heck is these two dingbats doing? But
hey, man,
it is what it is. We're having fun.
That's right. You don't know what you don't know. And here's the thing: when you go live, we just go live. Like, screw it, it's all out there. It's raw.
You don't have to edit it. So that's why I like it.
This is dangerous ball game. I don't do live, man.
Yeah, no, we like it because of the But
hey, it's full send, man. Here we go.
One of the coolest things, and back to Pea Ridge, one of the coolest things, just being in Northwest Arkansas, when I first heard about it, was the mule jump. You have to tell us a little bit about the mule jump and the tradition that's going on with there. What was your first experience, and did you ever
listen to that? Even the dogs got excited.
Yeah, the golden retrievers are going off.
The dogs know about the mule jump. How about that? They love the mule jump themselves.
Yeah,
man, it's one of those things. It's a special tradition, you get the people that come out there and do that, and they train and practice for that. I mean, what a lifestyle. I mean, God bless them. And I think that is truly what makes Pea Ridge special. I love Pea Ridge. I really do. Yeah. It feels like its own little universe, and yet it's 5 minutes from downtown Bentonville. And I think
you got Rogers and all that
Rogers
right there.
Is right there. And you're on the lake. I mean, honestly, it really is a perfect spot to build the community.
Hey, hold on. You're not just on any lake. You're on Beaver Lake.
Yeah,
Beaver Lake,
baby.
yeah,
That's
that's
big
We're on
time.
Beaver Lake.
Hey, man, Beaver Lake is big time.
I've got a
excited,
buddy.
man.
Shout out to my good friend Billy Anderson. He lives in Farmington, Arkansas. He's a good friend of mine, so he's checking us out right now.
Did he just
Hawks
hop
fan,
on? He just hopped on.
Yeah, so he
Right.
big Hawks fan. I told him, I said, hey, we got a Razorback legend on with us. You got to come check this one out. So he's
Razorback legend, former Razorback, Farmington Cardinals, baby. Tommy Tice got that place rolling.
Yeah.
Hey, Farmington, you talk about blowing up and exploding too, right? Man,
Yeah,
their facilities, man, is crazy. I remember they built their they got it going on. So
Tommy did steal 2 coaches from me, so I do have a part in their success. You know what I mean?
Oh,
they got a couple good ones.
We don't need it. Hey, we won't go down that road. Okay, we won't go into that.
So, hey, question now. You know, you're obviously at the University of Arkansas, back at your alma mater and everything like that. Talk about a little bit. I know people, when you hear the title, hey, high school relations and all that stuff. What is your role at Arkansas? What do you do? You know, as far as the day-to-day stuff.
Hold on, can I add to that?
Yeah, go ahead.
So what he just said, remember that question if you can, and add to it the difference in being there the first time and then now the second go round in 2 different roles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
2 different roles, if just all in one, if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I do now is my title is Manager of High School and Alumni Relations. Basically, my first couple weeks on the job, it was collecting contacts, and so it was combing through every contact that we had, making sure, because there's the coaching cycle and all the moves that happen, and so it was following up with every coach in the state of Arkansas. And then we drew a circle from Kansas City to Dallas to New Orleans to Atlanta. And so from Arkansas, we were spreading out. And we had a lot of that information, but a lot of it needed to be updated. And also we do want to, as a new staff, want to reach out to these coaches. And so it started with a lot of phone calls. And then it was, once we got to the point where we're going to that larger circle, now it's texts and talking to schools, finding out who the ADs are. Right now, we're in the process of talking to Texas coaches on when's the best time for our coaching staff to visit your school. If they're in a block schedule or
that's a big role. That's a big thing to figure out.
Yeah,
that's a big thing to figure out.
And that's the stuff that, like I said, I know now. Like if I was just an assistant coach back in the day, and I didn't know I needed that information, but now in my role, I'm like, man, that's crucial that Coach Myers knows that at Fordyce High School at 2:15 is the best time for him to show up and say hello to coach. Then that makes his job so much easier. And so to me, it's important what we're doing there. And of course, Coach Silverfield's done an amazing job at recruiting the state of Arkansas and making sure that these kids get evaluated. So as we build these relationships with our high school coaches, I'm getting texts, hey coach, what do you think about this kid? I think he might be a kid for you, or this kid's got potential, this kid's looking to transfer. We're building relationships is what we're doing. And on top of that, in the past, there's been issues with alumni in that, I think the example was maybe Jarius Wright. We had a couple of former players who wanted to get into the locker room and couldn't. And, I don't remember exactly the details on either side of the situation, but it comes down to communication, right? So what we have now is any former player that's gone through our program, they now have a point of contact. Like if they want to come to the locker room, they want to come be around the program, come to practice, then just call me. Like text me. Like we'll get it done. Like Joe Adams texted me like period 3 of practice last Thursday. He's like, hey, I heard Chris Gragg's coming in. I want to come down too. Like great. Hey, let's get him a name tag. Meet me here. Like come on. That's awesome. So really, it's just opening lines of communication to high school and our alumni. And then going back to your question, David, about the difference between my first round here and this one is the experience. And now I know what is needed and from my role and what I can provide that will make our coaches' lives easier, which makes our football team better and our football program better because it smooths out a lot of our operations. So that's a big piece of it. A second piece of it is probably the stress level. As a young GA, he didn't know what the hell he was doing. Actually, today, it's funny, somebody tweeted a picture of one of our run drawings of a duo, actually, Glidden Duo. Somebody tweeted that today. and I went and retweeted it. And what a throwback! But like instead of just trying to figure things out on the fly, I've got a good handle on what, or I feel like I do. I mean, I could be completely wrong. That's up to Coach Silverfield, I guess. But I do have a handle of what our high school coaches are looking for, what our assistant coaches need, and what our alumni deserve. So that's kind of my role now.
That's big time, man. That's big time. And I would say this, just to your point of I guess not realizing what it takes or what the roles, when you go the first time around and to where you're at now, and just the level of maturity as you grow and what the job actually entails, and to do good at your job, and what you said, or you mentioned this earlier, like staying a step ahead, if you will, like getting that whatever XYZ on the desk an hour earlier, like that's a really, really big deal. And people don't understand how big a deal your role of alumni relations / high school relations. So there's a lot of people with their hands on the present and what's currently going on the university, but you're the prior step and you're the post step to all that, right? You're the before and the after, which is huge for the people. Like, it's sometimes you're the initial contact for people to know what is the University of Arkansas, and even more specifically the University of Arkansas football. But then it's the relationship with after. What do people think about, like, I just did my time there, right? And how much love do I feel now that I just put in so many hours and days and years and whatever it is. And now, dude, those people really appreciate what I did. So the role that you play, man, is tremendous. And I don't think people give enough credit to the guys like you that do the jobs that you have. So shout out, man. Kudos.
Well, and I don't even think that a lot of people know that there's even those roles within, these bigger, most SEC schools have those type of guys and all that stuff. And that is a big deal, like, because, that's just something else that is off the plate of, the coaches, and even now you have front office guys that are working on, roster retentions and all that stuff. And that's even crazy to even think about that, colleges have, front offices and everything. But that is a huge role. And I love that coaches, or that programs now will value that, because a lot of times it's just like, hey, you played, you did your time, hey, we'll see you later, man. Thanks,
For sure.
All that kind of stuff. But to welcome them back and be able to let them know, hey, the door's always open. Just let me know, come around. And to be able to have the players there now see those guys, and you see pictures around the facility of those guys, and then being able to kind of correlate and build relationships with those guys is awesome. And I think that's
for
great.
sure. That's for sure. Then tell me this. Hold on. Tell me this. You mentioned the name Jarius, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll get to in a second. You also shout out Chris Gregg. I know Chris Gregg, man. Baller, right? Baller back in the day. Now he's coaching down. I think he's coaching in high school in Texas, right?
Yep. Yeah, just moved to Texas.
Yeah, man. So Jarius Wright, I could be dead wrong. So tell me if I'm dead wrong. But did he have that infamous, that famous punt return?
That was
him?
Joe. That was Joe Adams.
That was Joe.
Yep.
Joe
but
Adams.
we
Tennessee.
did mention Joe.
Yeah.
I
was actually at that
Joe?
game.
Were you?
You were at that game?
Yep.
Man.
That's wild. I was too.
What year was that play? That play was legendary.
2011.
2011 or 2012, I was going to say. Yeah, that was crazy, man. It was one of those years right there. I can't remember, but
right, that was your freshman year.
Ryan Mallett and all those days, man. They were slinging it around.
2011, because that was the year that we were number 3 in the country and
played Ohio State in the Sugar Bowl.
That was 10. That was 10. Before I got.
That was right. Okay.
But I was on the sideline for that the punt return. So it would have been 11.
Yeah,
and you had a good view.
Yeah, unbelievable, man.
That
He's a
wild,
freak.
man.
He had a good view.
Crazy. It's because this last year I was working with Varsity Vibe, and so I was at Harbor a lot. I also did Harbor's live stream, which is a whole nother conversation on Friday night.
Segue, Varsity Vibe, segue. Hello.
Yeah, we'll bring that in. Bring it in. So,
throw it in there, man.
I was out there watching spring practice with Harbor last year, and Coach Dan Howard's doing an incredible job. It's been fun to watch his team grow, and I'm watching Joe Adams teach punt return. And he's out there working with returners. I mean, man, that must be freaking to be a high school kid and have Joe Adams be the one to teach me how to return a punt. Man, it doesn't get any better than that. And
what is his role there? What's he doing?
I believe he's the receivers coach. He's
okay.
He's an assistant coach there with Coach Dan Howard.
I was going to say that's like David Glidden teaching receivers how to catch balls. I mean, that's
exactly. I mean,
it's wild. I'm like,
don't disrespect Joe Adams like that. Don't disrespect him in that way. That's bad, y'all. Don't do that. Joe, that was not me. If you ever hear this. That's crazy.
No, that's awesome.
That is awesome. And I'll say this just because we hit this, man. Like just going right into the next thing with you, because I mean, if you heard the intro, you heard everything that Brey's got his hands in. And if you weren't here for the start of this, Brey Cook is our guest, man. Shout out to him. This has been awesome so far. And I'll even let Drew probably needs to take a halt real quick before we get into this next segment of talking about what Brey's doing now and some of the things he has going on. And so, Drew, I'll let you take it, man. If you want to shout out to our sponsors real quick and do the deal, man.
I will. Let's thank the Jeremy Hodge Auto Group, trusted leader in quality vehicles, unmatched customer service, 3 dealerships to choose from in Ardmore, Oklahoma. You've got Jeremy Hodge Chevy, you've got Honda of Ardmore, and then you've got Toyota of Ardmore. 3 great dealerships to choose from, trucks, cars, SUVs, anything that you need. Hodge has it, so go visit them, their website, everything like that, down at the bottom. Great things. And then we also got a couple sponsors we'll shout out later, but that is our premier sponsor right there, my good buddy Jeremy Hodge, down there in Ardmore. So take the drive down Interstate 35 and let him know that the Huddle Up boys sent you down there.
Yeah, man. Big time. Go get it, whatever it is that you need. So I see you, Coacher.
Oh, look at it.
We're on spring break. No, I'm going to have one of whatever this is, a little fancy drink.
It's spring break in Arkansas, guys. So
hey, I like the spring break in Arkansas. You guys, I like it a little bit later than most probably, but I like that. It's good. Give it a little.
Great. Well, I was in like here at the Stonebreaker. I mean, there's places in Bentonville now. I mean, you don't have to go very far. I mean, go to Beaver Lake for a day or so. That's beautiful. It's a good little resort area now.
Hey, there's plenty of golf courses up there, like Bella Vista, all that. I mean, like it's a great place. I need to get over there. Actually, my family, funny story, is backgrounds from Siloam Springs. My grandpa, everything like that. We used to go spend a lot of summers in Siloam. That's kind of my connection over there to Northwest Arkansas. Both my parents, sadly passed away. They're both buried over in Weddington Cemetery, just outside in between Fayetteville and Siloam Springs. So that's it's still a little home for me. I know I grew up in Oklahoma and stuff like that, but got a little touch of Northwest Arkansas, and I've got a lot of friends and a lot of connections over there. So no, I got to get over there and check out the new era of hog football, man.
Come on,
man. I can't tell you what. So just a little topper. I think Brey will appreciate this, Drew, to what you just said, bro. Northwest Arkansas is booming for one.
Right.
And I personally, I can't say I've been everywhere in this country. Yeah, there's a little dough up there. There's a little bit, but it's not. But it's not all that. Okay, it's not all that. But there's definitely some dough up in those parts. Right. But I'll say this, man. For me personally, the first time I really experienced it, of seeing what Arkansas is all about, is right when I got done in college and I was figuring life out. And me and my buddy, we drive up to NWA. We're going to watch University of Arkansas play Ole Miss. I think it was like 2016. And I get off I-40 right at the Oklahoma-Arkansas border, and I head north. And it was in the fall. It was probably late October. And the drive is absolutely beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Coming north.
Beautiful. Was it 49? Is that right?
It's 49.
49? Beautiful. So you're going through the hills.
You get over that hump and you see Old Main and you see the stadium. Oh, man.
It's gorgeous, right? It's gorgeous. So anyway, that's, to me, like, you can't go wrong. I tell people all the time, like, you can't go wrong living in NWA. To what Drew just talked about, Bella Vista, that whole area from Bentonville down to Fayetteville, everything in between. So shout out to it, because I would say it's especially late fall, it's one of the most beautiful areas in the entire country.
Well, and like he said, the lake, nothing beats it. I mean, Beaver's.
Beaver?
Yeah, incredible.
Beaver Lake, baby.
Yeah. Grew up going to Beaver Lake, like all through like middle school into high school, early in college and stuff, was going to Beaver Lake. Fortunately, with some good friends we had. So I've been there with Brey Cook himself. That dude, I'd say he runs the lake.
It sounds like we need to all get together and have some time in Beaver Lake.
We need to.
Come on.
Well, my boat is at the bottom of the lake. What was that? 2 years ago that boat sank. So I'll have to find another boat, but we'll do it.
I got some connections. We'll find somebody. Hey, we can maybe shout out our good friend at JB Hunt, Shelly Simpson. I give her a call. See, maybe she's got a boat. We'll figure something out. So
I'm sure
Billy's in. So let's go.
Look at Billy. Billy's in. Let's ride.
Billy got a boat. You know somebody with a boat. We'll figure something out.
Let it rip, man. Let it rip. That's awesome. So I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take the ropes on the next thing. We're talking about Northwest Arkansas, how great it is. But just as far as the state, we've talked about Brey's upcoming, if you will, and his recruitment in the University of Arkansas, what he's doing there now. But I'm gonna shift gears to something that Brey has his hands in a little bit right now that I think personally is awesome. I think it's awesome, man. For high school sports specifically, is really, really cool. And so you are in control, GM of a company called Varsity Vibe Arkansas. So if you will, man, just tell us about Varsity Vibe. Tell us how it got started. Tell us what your purpose is with it all, the end goal, all of it, man. Lead right into it. Varsity Vibe, because from what I know, from what I've seen, if you got kids in high school in the state of Arkansas, and hopefully branching out to other places, as I know you'll touch on. Hopefully you give them a follow, give them all the views that you possibly can, because I know personally that the content they are putting out is legit. And so for all the schools that are already on board with Varsity Vibe, man, shout out to you. But Brey, I'll let you take it from here, man.
We'll make sure to put the links
really cool
and everything in down below too. So
I'll send it to you, man. So with Varsity, when I was a head coach, one of the things that was important to me, just because I'd been around, high level college football, was our marketing and how we branded our team. And for me, it was I wanted to give our kids something to be excited about. They see themselves in their highlights. We have professional photos of them, and we celebrate our kids, kind of like a Division I program does. 2, I thought it offers transparency to the community of what we're doing. I mean, if we're posting videos and photos and just content all the time of what we're actually doing, our community can be a part of that. And 3, in the world of the transfer portal and NIL, we wanted to recruit a little bit and put our brand out there. And we just wanted ourselves to look good, and have a name for what we were doing. And essentially that just became, well, if you want that, go do it yourself. And so I did. And so we learned how to, do the photography, the videography, the editing, all the hoorah, and we realized, man, it's a big task, but it's an important task in 2026 as, kids get away from watching television and all their eyes are on social media. And now it's more important than ever to have a sports marketing platform, which is what Varsity Vibe is. We're a sports marketing company, and we partnered with Bo Mattingly, who has a history in doing some incredible things in the media space. He has Chuck and Bo Show now, works with Hogs Plus and all these projects he's been involved with, ESPN. And then Alyssa Orange, who was a Sportscaster of the Year, has an amazing voice and just knack for the sports media. And then Alex Hall is the creator, who a kid from Little Rock, who that camera in his hands is a weapon, and he's freaking good at it. And we also partner with about 30 creators around the state. And so what we do is we have 2 lanes of business, and one of them is to partner with school districts, and we do entire school districts athletic media, and that's hype videos, highlights, game day graphics, photos. We have their socials, so we run their social accounts, and we basically take what in today's day and age is so critically important. We take it off the coach's plate and say, hey, you guys coach football, and let these kids who, like Alex Hall, who can take these shots and post this stuff and do the edits, let us handle that for you. And so that allows school districts and teams to have consistent branding and marketing throughout their entire season. And that way you don't have, a bunch of random kids that you paid $50 to do, different, whatever it is they're doing. Now we've kind of streamlined that. And then the other side of this is, because all eyes are on this, you've got the kids, the athletes who love it. You got the parents who absolutely love it. The coaches are all about it. And then you have the community members who are involved in these school districts and these athletes. All eyes are on this content now that we're posting. Well, let's put your brand on some of that. And so we partner with some of the biggest brands in the state of Arkansas to get their logo in front of the eyes. It's a tough demographic to get into, is that high school aged and above demographic. And we've done I believe we're knocking on the door of 400% growth since we started in August. We are averaging 3.5 million views on Instagram per month, which combined with our TikTok, our podcast that we host with Alyssa, and some of the other things, I think it's knocking on the door of 6.5 million views and impressions monthly.
That's awesome.
And
Wow.
so you go to a local business and say, hey, attach your brand to this scoring touchdown highlight. I mean, it's a no-brainer. And so that's what we've been working on at Varsity Vibe.
Yeah, and even elaborate a little bit more, like your purpose, because I think the people that don't know about it are like, man, is there really a niche for this? Like, is this something that people really need? It's like, well, if you look at the grand scheme of this whole thing, people are all like the kids, they always want, like, you want to promote yourself for sure, but at the grand scheme of things, as a coach, whether you're at the high school or the college level, whatever level it is, I guess ultimately you want to promote your kids, right? And so I think that's one of the coolest things is when the very first time a while back when I got on your website and I look at whatever that quote is that you have at the bottom of it, and I don't know, you might have it, I don't know, you might have it
Noting the
memorized
best of Arkansas high school sports, I believe.
Right. And it says something about the players, the coaches, and the community. And I think that was one of the coolest things that you guys said. So just talking about the purpose of it, man, I think was really cool. And the fact that on your main page of your website, that's what you guys talked about. And you talked about those three things, I think is a really, really big deal because that's what high school sports is. It's players, there's coaches involved, and they do so many more things that people don't see. But then it's also the community and the people behind the doors on that, the people that run the booster club, the random fan that shows up on a Friday night and is supporting in all facets or whatever it might be. It's a big deal, man. And so for them to have full access through somebody like that that's consistent is one of the biggest things, right?
That's the thing is if you're a coach or an AD looking at this, well, now I don't have to worry about what message is being sent, and we work with our coaches very closely on what exactly you want your brand to be online and with your social media. And so that every single deal that we make with our schools is custom, and it's what exactly do you want your brand to be, and let us help build that for you. And
awesome.
And essentially, man, you get an interview of Coach Dannenhauer after he beats Farmington. This is one of the first wins as the head coach, and he's in the locker room with the guys. I mean, that content is gold, and and everyone wants to be a part of that, and also everyone wants to see that scoring touchdown. Where Bryant goes and wins the state championship, and then they want to be in the Gatorade bath with them, and that's what we do. Like we have these kids, and that's what makes this thing run is our creators. These kids with these cameras and what they can do is unbelievable, and they love it. And so that too is part of what we do is we want to be able to fund something that they're passionate about. And I've always, man, I believe in surrounding myself with passionate people, and doesn't matter what it is. And these kids with these cameras, man, it's their thing. And so my role is to continue to facilitate them to continue to produce this incredible content.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I just put the link to the link tree for all that stuff right there in our Twitter, in our Facebook right here. So you guys can, our YouTube, you guys can go and check that out. Click on that. All their stuff is right there, whether it's their social media, website, everything like that is all right there under their link tree. So you guys go check that out. Especially if you're in Arkansas. I know you guys are working on some other stuff as well too. But I just think that's cool because the kids love it. This generation it loves it, and you're also helping other people equip them with the talents they have and giving them a platform to do that too as well. And I think it's just a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I agree totally. It's awesome. And Brey, you might have said this. I might have missed it, man. So I apologize if I did. But one of the coolest things is the access that you give the athletes themselves when they're on board. Like kids always trying to find pictures or videos of themselves and everything. I think that part is super cool, and I really started to learn about it. So
so if you're one of our dedicated schools that we do your marketing for you, all of our content you have access to. So all of our photos, interviews, podcasts, your highlights and edited highlight reels, that goes straight to a folder that your coach has access to give to your players. And then to our schools that don't. So we have our sponsors that pay us to have their brand on. We did a Central Arkansas spotlight for Everett. And so they covered one of our biggest games in Little Rock all season. And so for those kind of content, those are available for those schools to buy with a link that can download those photos and videos. So it really is. I think one of the coolest stories that from this season was following Pea Ridge girls basketball, which Coach Heath Neal, he had a very talented team, a bunch of amazing, athletic, incredible athletes. And we made our deal with them, and it was we're going to put 3 reels out each week during preseason. And so as they're doing their training, they're doing everything leading up into season, they're getting that build up online. And then all of a sudden they start rolling through season, and now we're getting the highlights, the interviews, the access. Well, they make an unbelievable run and some of the wildest finishes in basketball games I've ever seen. And they make it to the state championship. And so just to follow them, like, to me, was the coolest thing that I've been a part of in a long time, just to watch them grow and continue to compete and have these amazing finishes. Like I was watching their live. I wasn't with them on these tournaments. We had creators there, and man, I'm screaming at my phone, and I felt like I was celebrating with them afterwards because we had kids there with cameras as they were dogpiling on the court. And so those are the stories that to me are worthwhile and really are worth following, and I'm glad that we're able to provide that platform.
Well, and that's not Varsity only that, Vibe, right? That's what it's about. That's the vibe.
And not only that, too, is that you not in the present, but they're going to have these mememories, like some of those girls and families and parents. They're going to be able to like look back on that stuff and share it with other people. And
forever.
I think it's a great thing that you guys are doing in an outlet. And like I said, we shared the link in our YouTube page and everything for this video, so you guys go check them out and watch some of that stuff and you know all that. So it's definitely some cool stuff. So
yeah,
man, do you sleep at all? Like, do you have time to sleep with everything?
No,
we don't sleep.
Hold on. Let me answer that for this guy. I lived with this guy for a year. I worked with this guy for a year. This dude is not human. He's not human, man.
There's no time for sleep.
There's no time for sleep. There's no time for sleep, man. This guy. Hey, hold on. Okay, so go ahead, Brey, before I leave it, because I got something good coming up for you.
All right. Well, all right. Before we get to that, we're Varsity Vibe Arkansas right now.
Oh, come on.
When we launched this thing, it was one of those. This is a hit. I mean, we know from all angles this is fantastic, and as long as we provide a good product, like this is gonna go, and it's going. And so, do we go ahead and brand it as a national company? Is this going to go nationwide? And the answer was not necessarily. What's important about what we do is that we keep it local. And so while we do have Varsity Vibe Arkansas, we do have plans to have a Varsity Vibe in all 50 states. And
that's right.
And a lot of those will be rolling us, not a lot of them. We will roll out a couple of those here in the near future as we continue to perfect our processes.
And you're starting with the surrounding states. Maybe.
Yeah, hey, man.
Come on. I love it. I know some coaches that would definitely get on board with some of that stuff. So
that's right, man. That's
awesome.
That's right.
Like,
that's exciting,
I think
man.
Yeah, for sure.
That's exciting.
Y'all stay tuned, man. Stay tuned
because that's coming soon. And I think, I think what they're doing is obviously it's phenomenal for, like, Drew, you said this earlier, for the fact that it touches and impacts everybody. It's a really cool deal, man. So, stay tuned for what's coming next from Varsity Vibe. Hopefully eventually for you, Brey, honestly, it touches all 50 states, but there's growth in between the 50th state, right? And so we'll see what happens next, man. We'll see what happens next.
Yes,
but, all right, so I got something I got to ask him about, because if you see Brey Cook on the screen right now, you see this is, hey, by the way, this episode has been awesome. Brey, we appreciate you, man, and your time.
Thank you. Thank you all for having me. It's been fun.
Thank you for sharing your spring break with us, man. We really
appreciate it. Man. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So because we might have to just get you back on to continue this episode next week or something.
Come
like
on.
if we can't finish this,
This may be a
time.
series. This may be a
Yeah.
series coming up.
The Brey Cooks. I mean, to hit
the
all your
Brey
stuff,
Cook
we might have
Chronicles
to.
right here.
The Chronicles of Cook, right?
Yeah, right here.
That's a great point, Drew. I'm with that, bro. But if you see Brey on the screen right now, you can see he has an acronym, if you will, below his name, and it says BDOML, and that stands for BDOML, which myself, when I met Brey Cook at the University of Memphis in 2018, and we began to work that year, and not only work, I guess you would say absolutely grind. And that's where we probably learned some things that year of what college football was really about, and then some. But man, it was awesome because what it's led to, and it opened our eyes to a lot of things that you talked about on this podcast and what college football is all about, that Drew was talking about, and everything, right? That we've all been a part of and know about. But Brey has something that he shared with all of us that I think made an impact to a lot of people around him and people he has come across with throughout his life from the time that BDOML became a thing. So, Brey, if you will, please bless us with the fact of, or not the fact of the knowledge of what BDOML is, what it stands for, and where it originated.
So the BDOML is the best day of my life. That's what the BDOML stands for. I'll go ahead and ruin the surprise. But where it came from and the origins, just for a second, I want you all to just think about it. You can close your eyes if you want to. You don't have to. It's kind of weird. Think about what the best day of your life was. You don't have to say it. Don't say it. Just want you to think about it. For a lot of people, maybe it was the day you got married. Maybe it was a day with maybe it was a day with your son. Your son was born, or one of your kids, or maybe it was people think about religion. What was the best day of your life? Just think about it. Hold it in there. I want to tell you a quick story about the best day of my life. Best day of my life was August 30th, 2014. On August 30th, we played the Auburn Tigers in Jordan-Hare Stadium. That was my senior year at Arkansas. I grew up here in Springdale, just right up the road from the U of A. You can open your eyes, David. You want to?
Oh, no, I'm in the moment.
You like the moment?
He's pretending he's playing Razorbacks.
I was literally on the field. I was on the field.
You're Jordan
I was on the field, bro.
It's a night game.
He was doing his best Joe Adams,
I'm under the lights right now.
All right, so I want you to imagine this, all right? So you grew up a Razorback fan, man. You went to games growing up. Your grandpa, your uncle, you went to all the games. It's a dream come true. You're a captain, right, for the Razorbacks, your senior year, season opener at Auburn, night game. It's rowdy as hell. I believe at the time, that stadium held 84,351 people, and they're all just yelling at you and just wished you would die right there on the spot. And it's you and your team, and you're leading them out there. You got your helmet under your freaking arm. It's just something you dreamed about. And so I'm in that position, and I'm walking out there, man. I just got this stupid grin on I'm just soaking it all. I can't believe it. What a moment to be in. And you go out there and
I hear you.
You do the coin toss, and just unbelievable experience. All right. I'm going to fast forward to the third quarter. The score of that game was 20-20. It's tied. Night game. It's rowdy as hell. And do you know what a box score is? Y'all are coaches. Y'all,
yeah,
the box
come on.
score they go through. Yeah. Normally I tell the story, then nobody knows what box score. So I'm going to read you the box score. This is about halfway through the third quarter. All right. So I've got it right here. We catch the ball. We receive the kickoff. We return it to the 46. It's 1st and 10 with 8:53 left on the clock in the third quarter. Previous play was reviewed. Doesn't matter. Ruling on the field stands. It's fine. 1st and 10. Alex Collins rushed over the right guard 3 yards to the Arkansas 49. All right. I was playing right tackle at the time. So on 1st and 10, they run the ball behind us on the right side. 2nd and 7. On the 49, Brandon Allen throws a pass to Keon Hatcher, 17 yards. It's a big gain to the Auburn 34. Now we're knocking on the door of the red zone. It's 1st down Arkansas. All right, 1st and 10. Alex Collins rush up the middle for 1 yard to the 33. All right, now we're 2nd and 9. Knocked on the door still, 33-yard line. Brandon Allen passed to A.J. Derby. 5-yard gain. We're now on the Auburn 28. It's 3rd down. It's 3rd and 4. Auburn 28. Alex Collins rushed over the right end for a loss of 6 yards to the Auburn 34. We punt. If you recall, I was playing right tackle on 3rd and 4, knocking on the door of the red zone. The coaches call a play behind their senior captain right tackle, and I misheard the play in that moment.
And you whiffed.
I whiffed. I go the wrong direction.
Yeah.
The entire team, the coaches, everyone, they said, run it behind Brey. I screwed up. We lost. That score was 2020. If you recall, I believe at halftime, we don't recover from that game. We lose by 20 points. We lose the season opener, my first game as a captain. I was so upset, so excited at the moment, and so locked into just where I was that I just didn't focus. And it's such an easy detail to hear the play and to go out there and execute. And I just failed. And so I fail in that moment. I got to look my family in the eyes. I'm this captain. Well, I lost. I'm a loser. I'm a captain of a losing team. And you take a lot of that. You take a lot of it. It's hard. And there are worse things that happen in life. Don't get me wrong. But in that moment, to have failed on the biggest stage, it's definitely impactful. And so what happened was, we come home, we reevaluate as seniors, had that senior meeting, like, hey, we got to get this thing right. Like we've still got a chance to turn this thing around. And we decided to take the reins, and we really decided on, we got to be a family. We got to focus on the little things. We got to have intensity, and we're going to be known for our hard work and toughness. And that is where at Pea Ridge, our flight came from. That was our acronym. And it really came out of that game at Auburn. Well, you fast forward to the end of that season, November 15th. Just 10 weeks later, we're at Donald W. Reynolds Stadium. LSU comes to town, right? That's the battle for the boot. The capacity of that stadium is 76,000 people, and they aren't screaming at you. They're calling the Hawks, all right? And we in that game, we beat LSU.
Fingers and all, right?
Fingers and all, baby. We in that game, we beat them 17-0. We stormed the field. It's still the picture in the facility down when you open the elevators was that game. We go on to beat Ole Miss the next week, 30-0, senior night. We then go on to play Texas in the Texas Bowl, and we win 31-7. We outscored those opponents almost 78 points to 7.
Hey, I'll back that up. I'll back that up.
100%. So going back, the whole moral of this story is, had it not been for that lack of focus and that failure in Auburn, we might not have bounced back and learned the lessons that we did and go on to win at the end of that season. So the best day of my life is, it's spring break. I'm with the Stonebreaker. It's fantastic. It's the best day of my life, sure. But there's going to be terrible days that come out of nowhere. Yep. And you can either take them as the terrible day, or you can find the weaponized adversity, the lesson in the loss, and what are you going to take from that that's going to impact you down the road. And so, man, you just got to treat every day as it's got a potential to be the best day of your life, because you never know. And even in the moment when it doesn't feel like it's the best day, you never know what those effects are going to have.
Yeah. If I had a mic to drop, I would.
That's
do
it.
That.
So that's the battle. There's 3 people in the world.
We just hit the end button right now, and just.
Yeah.
Who are the 3 people? Hold on. What? Who are the 3 people with the tats?
I'm one. My brother's one. I can't mention the third. It might have gotten the race. I don't know. So
that's okay. That's okay, man. The whole, because here's the thing. I just got like Drew, bro. Like you said we could have turned it off right now and left. Mic drop. And I'll just say that's a great story, because what you just explained, Brey, is college football in a nutshell, for one.
Yeah. What's life in a nutshell?
Which is life in a nutshell, right? That's what I was gonna say. It's life, and no matter what's thrown at you, it's response to adversity. And how are you gonna, what is your attitude? I have an acronym of ACE, if I will. I'll share that right now, to your point, and I'm not trying to go coach speak on you, if you will, but an acronym of ACE, of any guys that have played for me in the past, they know this acronym. that it's attitude, consistency, and effort. And the C in the middle is purposeful, because the consistency of your attitude and your effort ultimately day to day make up who you are. And choosing that every day is the best day of your life is a big deal, man. That's a choice, right? So you impacted me in 2018, obviously, to our friendship to this day. I got to witness you as a hell of a ball coach, but also you left the BDOML aspect. Anybody that was around us in those years and the years following there, we still talk about the BDOML. The BDOML is a real life deal, man. And that brand, I think, is only going to grow. It's that spider web, that those roots are growing continuously. And now Drew knows.
Yeah, no. And going to our point, I think, and this was something that it kind of ties into it. And I don't know if Coach Craig ever told you about what he did as a head coach with some of our small groups that we did. But every Thursday, we would break into small groups, and we called them BMFO, Building Men for Others. And we would do those little small group type of things each week after our walkthrough, between walkthrough and team dinner. And at the end of the season, our guys, we'd take a survey with them, and we'd ask them, hey, what was your favorite part of it? And a lot of them would say those application little small groups that we had on Thursdays, because I think a lot of people sometimes have this, different understanding of, yes, football is football on the field, but some of the most impactful times that I've ever had, even as a player, as a coach, was always those times with your teammates on and off the field. And I think that this game, and I think it even, like you said, it teaches you so many life applications, and it teaches you how to learn from the loss, like you said. And I think a lot of people just think it's a sport and we keep score and then we're done with it after that. And no, I don't think it could be further from the truth. And I think that, the reason why I got into coaching, the reason why I got into that, was when I finally understood that it's bigger than the score. It's bigger than that. It's helping, people find their purpose and their direction. And you're doing that through a lot of avenues that you're a part of. And, I think we miss that sometimes when we're so focused on the X's and O's and winning, that we're entrusted with a group of, kids and a group of young men that we're, helping to shape their life and their trajectory. And without getting on a soapbox, I could talk about this for days, but I think that's awesome. And, you're always learning something, and to have that mindset of, I learned something from you, we're on a podcast, and I was like, hey, we're going to have, but you learn from each other, you grow and you do all that. And so, without getting too off into it, I think that's awesome. And that's, that we can be, as impactful as we can, and shaping a generation,
100%. No, that's the name of the game. And honestly, like that's probably why I'm not a head coach anymore. The scheme that's one thing. And there are people who, love they're scheme people. And that's most coaches in college. And that's it. You're playing chess with live human beings. And for me, it's the live human beings part. To build the connection, that's what's fun to me. Beating somebody at chess is great. I play chess all the time. My buddy Skyler, shout out to him. We play like 10 times a day. And I kick his butt every day. That's not true. He kicks my butt a lot. But to me, it's going out and making the relationships with these guys. That's what's fun. And so that's what I enjoy. And that's what it's all about.
No, well, you're doing a great job, and keep on, like as Joe Dirt would say, keep on keeping on, brother.
Yeah, baby.
Man, amen to that, bro. That's a good one.
Life's a garden, dig it, right?
Come on.
Yes. Come on. Yes.
Come on, man. That's big time. That's big time.
Yeah.
I'll say this, man, in closing, because we're past due of an hour, and so we don't want to make the listeners sit.
We definitely got to pick up a part 2 coming up. We got to get.
This is just continuation into the next one. Yeah. So we heard about Coach Cook and his background and the BDOML, man. What a phenomenal, I guess you would just say, story and background to what led to that. That's phenomenal, man. But I really think the mantra behind it all and the purpose behind it all is big time. What you're doing with Varsity Vibe is big time. Your impact and your role at the U of A now is awesome, man. So we appreciate you being on here. It's phenomenal, man. And if it's you're just going to tell us, man, we're like, we got a celeb on this thing that just runs the whole state of Arkansas. So whenever you want to get back on here, because the big deal that we haven't talked about, and obviously we don't have a lot of time for it, but like, U of A plays tonight in the Sweet 16.
Hogs, baby.
Yep.
Hogs
And
are going.
And we say the
the
U of A, but they're playing the other U of A and the number one team in the country basically all year.
It's down to who's going to be the real U of A tonight.
Come on, that's what
Really
I'm
U of A,
That's what
baby.
I'm
Battle of the
saying.
year.
One U of A, baby. Come on.
Yeah.
Come
on, man. So is A Cup going to just put the whole team on his back and do what he does, or what? What are we talking about here?
He's a dog. You can't slow him. You can't stop him, man. You just can't. And man, Coach Cal's got those kids doing. He came and spoke to the team.
You got to get
man, it's powerful.
You got to get A Cup. You got to get A Cup with like the BDOML bracelet or something.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? What do we do? If you're the real, you know what I mean? Like, come on.
Yeah. I got to give me one of those, man. Just get some merch going. Let's get some merch going. You know?
I'm saying. Oh, the BDOML merch is real. It's been real.
Yeah, it's trademarked.
Yeah, that's for sure. It is.
No, that's
awesome.
Right now.
I will support that all day, every day. That's awesome. No, and I second what DG said is, thank you for taking your time. I know you're a busy guy, spring break, everything like that. You got your iron and so many fires right now and everything like that. And we appreciate it, and we'll definitely pick up part 2 here, sometime, and we may even get over to Fayetteville and do some stuff and do some podcasts, or you never know. We may just, because me and Dave don't live too far away from each other, so we may just hop in the car one day and come on over and
that's
hang
right,
out.
man.
Hey, we need to do it. We'll go sit down at Ben's apartment. They're on Dixon Street. We'll get some coaches pod action rolling. We'll host y'all. We'll do it right. Come on,
let's do it, man.
Guys, if you're not following what they're doing, we'll put everything on. Like I said, the link is in the YouTube for Coach's Vibe, everything like that. What Brey's doing, we'll put his Twitter and everything down there. But tell us where they can find you, your Twitter handle, all that stuff, and then we'll bow out.
Man, my actually it was Brey Cook there for a minute. I might still be the Instagram. I believe we were a little more professional with Twitter. We're back to Coach Brey Cook. But man, you can find us on the official Coaches Pod. We're on YouTube, we're on Instagram, we're on everything. And Varsity Vibe AR, the Varsity Vibe Arkansas. That's going to be our handle on our all podcasts, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, or where we really hit that growth rate. So follow along on the Action High School Sports, the Coaches Pod. Man, we've got with my new role, we had to adjust some things. So with the Coaches Pod, we will have we had Gus Miles on, a couple former college coaches, but that's going to transform to a Calling Hogs podcast. We'll have some alumni in. So as our alumni come in and around the facility, that's going to be something that we're going to sit down with them and have some one-on-one Joe Rogan style conversations, kind of like what we did here today. So like the adventure, follow the adventure. It's a good time.
Yeah, for sure. We're just trying to catch up. We're just trying to catch up.
We're just trying to get our wheels spinning.
We're just trying to get our wheels going.
Y'all do an awesome job. This has been one of the most fun things I've done in a long time. I love it. So awesome. Thank y'all for having
definitely me. We'll pick up part 2 one of these days down the road. But for myself and the Huddle Up podcast, for DG, all of our sponsors, thank you guys. Please help us out. Shoot us a like, subscribe, comment, get us going. We're going to try to have some guys, some different interviews, stuff like that going on. We talk about pretty much what's ever on the top of our heads, and keep it football related. But sometimes we like to talk Oklahoma City Thunder, all kinds of different stuff going on down here.
Live.
So
y'all are doing it live. This is real.
Thunder up right here. Let's go.
Thunder up, and it's live, bro. You said it's real,
live,
bro.
Man.
So
it's
raw. We're live
and
ready. So you never know what's gonna come about. But again, for the Huddle Up podcast, for Drew England, David Glidden, and then our guest again, Coach Cook, the legend. We will see you guys again next week. But again, like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll catch you again down the road.
Go Hogs.